So I'm going to talk about how we accidentally got the University of Maryland to do a lot of the fundraising work for us at Bitcamp. And I'm not going to say that we did this I don't think we did this on purpose, but I'm going to say some of the things that we did do that I think led to us being able to do that. So that's what I'll be talking about. So first, I'm going to start with saying why it's important, I think, to have the university involved with fundraising, at least at some level, especially with university relations. Now, I know that a lot of, especially the bigger hackathons, don't have an issue raising the amount of money you need to raise, right? But it is nice to have people whose professional job it is to fundraise from corporate sponsors to be fundraising for you. Hold it closer. Okay. To be fundraising for you. And the reason why this is good is because when people invest their time and their energy into any event, that means that you build those relationships and they have more investment, and they're not going to want to shut your event down in the end if they've just spent 2 months fundraising for your event, right? So you do build a lot better relationships, and you get special perks. Like, for example, we were just referred to the networking, like the director of networking, for example, for our event to help build in a custom networking thing for Bitcamp at our university, because we're talking to the right people in the first place. So the way I think that we went about this, and I have my outline on my phone, the way I think we went about this was by thinking about what the university wants in this sort of relationship. So I don't know if you guys know this, but the way that corporate fundraising works at universities is that fundraising, they get points. Think about it as a point system for their rankings, their school rankings. You get points for participation. You don't get points for the amount of dollars that you raise, right? So even if you spend $1 at a university, that is worth the same to rankings for universities as if you spent $100,000. They do it by participation. So literally anything that ups their participation in that is what helps with universities. And that's why a lot of universities, you may have found, want you to go through their university accounts when you're fundraising and when you're collecting money. And that's the reason behind that. So you want to praise it as a value proposition. And that's the biggest value you can possibly get in allowing the university to control that relationship. The second value proposition you can look at is PR work, right? You want to try to, we phrased, and I'm going to try to avoid saying you want to try to do this, even though I might say that. Bitcamp with the University of Maryland, what we did was try to phrase hackathons with these buzzwords that are going around in our campus. We connected it to our president, Wallace Lowe, was talking about buzzwords like entrepreneurship and innovation and coding and students and startups. And these are the kinds of things that happen at hackathons, and it's important that universities can use that language and then tie that back into their university goals. And that's something that we found to be really effective with University of Maryland. Another really important thing that I think that we did almost inadvertently at the beginning was, before we even planned our event, we sat down with key university officials to tell them that this is something that we wanted to do, and to have a value proposition like that. And that's something that I think opened up the communication levels and it made everything very transparent. So people actually liked us, and actually Bitcamp, it's crazy. The University of Maryland is funding and sponsoring Bitcamp and going around and pitching Bitcamp in informal meetings to our our major corporate relations like Capital One and Pepsi. I mean, that's crazy, but that's what they're doing. And I can tell you we did not do that on purpose, but it works for us. So it's also key to work with the right people. And I'm going to give you a specific example. Go for your external relations or whatever department within big colleges like engineering or computer science or business that deal specifically with collecting checks from corporate sponsors, because they already have that relationship in place, and they would rather control that relationship they would rather them raise money for you than you raising money and cutting them out as a middleman, right? They want to be involved in these sorts of relations, and that's something that we found with the University of Maryland. We're also flexible, right? You have to understand it's a lot of bureaucracy in universities. And for example, a small anecdote was that when we wanted to change they wanted us to change our date from February to April, and there was a lot of internal discussions about whether or not this would work, and we ended up changing our date to April because it was better for the university, and in the end, the university likes us a lot better because of that. And I'm going to end in this, we connect with connected students. So what does that mean? One of the reasons why I think Bitcamp is so successful is because it's being run by 2 student groups on campus, Startup Shell and Terrapin Hackers, that have a lot of students that are already well regarded by the university. They've already know the dean personally, or they already know this other person personally, right? They have the connections in place. So when you have those personal relations and you work specifically with recruiting students to work on your hackathon, if you have a student who's well connected in the school, you're going to get a lot more out of that relationship. So the end is just, there's small concessions at the beginning that we did, but we have a lot of big gains in the end, and now the university is really doing a lot of my work for me as sponsorship leader. So basically I just accept checks as they come in, instead of having to go out and do all, I mean I do the work too, but anyway, so that was my presentation.